country from another school, a great school down there. The reason we came to Farrington's, and the reason that my wife and I live in Farrington's and our two sons go to the school, is because of the pastoral care. Now, the pastoral care in any independent school is going to be good. It's an absolute guarantee, and everybody's very proud to celebrate their pastoral care. It's also something really difficult to quantify and to kind of bottle and to prove to you how good the pastoral care is. It's not something that goes on a league table or there's no data sort of to show you. But at Farrington's, first of all, the staff are exceptional. The heads of year, the house parents, the chaplain, the deputy head, everyone who encounters the students are just absolutely fantastic. There's a family feel about the place. But we also use this amazing software that some people may have heard of called AS Steer, which, using a regular sort of survey and questionnaire cycle, allows us to sort of track maybe things that we might not see on the surface. You think of that typical very introverted student who is away from home, feeling a bit lonely, and despite the efforts of the staff, they're still a little bit sort of closed in and not able to open up. This software is absolutely amazing at sort of underpicking those things and just alerting you to someone who might be feeling a bit vulnerable. So we use that as a very proactive way of looking after students. But make no mistakes, it in no way replaces the human factor, which we'll always see as the very, very best way to look after young people. Wyvern Boarding House is a new boarding house. Now, it's been really, really well decorated. We want the students in this boarding house to feel like they own it. It belongs to them and not us. So the walls are absolutely covered in pictures of them. And although my PowerPoint is not working, I was very, very keen to show you a few pictures physically. So I'll just explain. I've got a few here to show you, and I can literally hold them up for you. Every weekend, because of our location, we have trips every single weekend and activities, and getting into London is incredibly easy. It costs us £1 per student on the train if they're traveling with a member of staff. So it's incredibly easy, and that gives them a travel card for the day. And we have a range of activities both in and out of London, including bowling, sort of laser tag. We've been to do the Sherlock Holmes escape room recently, which is really good fun. We've been ice skating, and in fact, we're going to go ice skating again in a few weeks. We've climbed the roof of the O2. We've been go-karting. We've done Go Ape, where we climb trees and do sort of slingshots and all those sorts of things. And our very famous local Chislehurst caves we've also been to. But the way we start in September with everyone, all the boarders, new or returning boarders, is we take them to London together, and we do what's called a London induction. We're calling it a Lunduction, where we want them to understand how to move around London, how to keep themselves in the right areas, how to get from A to B. And we also want to teach them some independence. So Lunduction, we take them all to London, we get them into two groups, we give them a location. We make sure in each group there are some very responsible prefects who've done this before, and it's their responsibility to get from one location to another. And they can choose how they do it. They can walk, everything is walkable. They can get the tube, they can get in a car, all with safety parameters. We have WhatsApp groups and phone numbers and things like that. And on the way, they have to get selfies in front of famous landmarks. So here's a really lovely example. And I learned this when you take pictures of students, quite often, for some reason, teenagers don't always like smiling. But if you get them to take pictures themselves, they look absolutely fantastic. So this is a picture in front of St. Paul's Cathedral with some of our students. I really hope you can see it. Having a really amazing time and really kind of bonding with people they hadn't previously met. Here is another one. This is outside the London Eye, just heading over towards the bridge to get to their next checkpoint, which was in Westminster. And once they've done that, we're able to give them a little bit more trust about their free time. Don't get me wrong, we don't let young boarders just disappear into London by themselves. There are lots of safety parameters. They have to be in groups, they have to be of a particular age. But we're really all about, giving them that independence and sort of training, if you like, of how to sort of look after themselves. So I think that's everything in terms of boarding. We are offering very generous scholarships at the moment, particularly for Nigerian families. I myself have been to Nigeria twice in the last 18 months and absolutely loved it. I've actually really keen to go back next year, and we could certainly do with some Nigerian weather here at the moment. Um, I think the culture, the Nigerian culture and the sort of West African culture, if you will, really suits our school. And I think we understand as a school what African families are looking for in terms of really strong values, good discipline and understanding, excellent pastoral care system, but also being really academically ambitious, which we definitely are. And if you love football, that's great. But if you don't like football and you like basketball or you like archery, we can accommodate that too. We have a bespoke extracurricular program called the Floriat program, which runs throughout the entire week. And there are programs on there, like I mentioned, archery and scuba diving, but also things like climbing and beekeeping. I myself teach an outdoor cooking class, which is really good fun with the students. And if you were to visit the school, which anyone would be very welcome to do, and you were to walk around, you will see a Floriat activity happening all the time, because it's not, as some schools do it, where they have a kind of an afternoon, 2 afternoons a week, or a Saturday morning when they do their extracurricular. Ours is happening all the time. It's a timetabled lesson. So it's really makes it very much part of the sort of tapestry of the school, if that makes sense. I'm sure there's probably more I could cover, but I always find questions are more that they tend to sort of go into more useful directions. So I'm very open to answer any questions, and I thank you for listening. And apologies about my PowerPoint.
Thank you so much for that presentation. You got me smiling when I heard about how deliberate you are, especially for African students. So while we're waiting for the questions from parents, I'd like to ask what your school does in particular to help the children, especially international children, feel at home, having
Yeah.
left their country and their culture coming to UK. What do you do to help them feel at home and get well integrated into the
Well,
system?
thank you. That's a great question. And that's something actually I can speak to very personally, because as a 12-year-old, I was sent to another country for only for 3 months, but I was sent to South America. And I remember the culture shock. I didn't speak the language. I didn't like the food. I like the food now, South American food, but as a teenager, I really, I wanted my home comforts and the people I knew and trusted. So I completely understand that. We do lots of things. Everybody who comes to this school at the moment, almost everybody, I've actually been to their home country, because part of the marketing and recruitment process is to go, and not just to sort of stay in a hotel or go to a conference, but to actually explore the area and start to try and understand the culture of the country. I think food is an obvious one. And I mean, I love food from around the world. I particularly, as I was saying, I love Nigerian food, like suya was probably my favorite sort of spicy Nigerian dish. So we do cook food from around the world. We have themed events and evenings. We also have a sort of a World Culture Day where we play music from around the world. We dress in kind of traditional clothing, which is really important, really good fun. And as a sort of multi-heritage person myself, my father being South American, I know what it's like when you're a teenager, not only to be away from home, but to be sort of searching for your identity and figuring out where your culture kind of begins and ends, and and what you want to take from British culture as well. There's all that kind of exciting melting pot going on. So I think it's those things, but also being in really regular contact with families, and including someone like me in that conversation. Sometimes the borders are FaceTiming mom or dad, and I walk past and they turn around and say, hi, oh, hello, sir, and I have a really nice chat with them. We see this very much as a three-way relationship. We are trying to be as close as possible the representatives of those parents. So we need to work with them. We need to do things the way they would do them, where possible. So yeah, communication, celebration of culture, and just a really strong, vibrant community is the answer.
Amazing. Okay, we have questions here from the parents. So the first one goes, what subjects or pathways are particular strengths at Farrington, and how do you support students in discovering and developing their academic interest? The second one goes, Farrington is known for balancing academic structure with a nurturing environment. How do you ensure each student receives personalized attention in their learning journey?
Okay. So the first question there, and do correct me if I misheard it, was about which are our particular sort of academic strengths, subjects wise. Yeah, definitely business is a very, very popular subject at this school. Lots of people come here to study that. Slightly less common subjects that are very popular here would be photography, is very strong, and I would also say performing arts, very, very strong too. But there are, I mean, that's not to say the other subjects are weak in any way. I'm just answering the question based on what I think people in the local area would say, their children studied here and did very, very well. The second question about balancing and kind of individualized learning, I mean, that is absolutely why my children go to this school. I'd say the small class sizes are really important there, so that the students get a lot of help from their teachers. I think boarding they get even more help because they're here in the evenings, and because again it's a small number in the boarding house, and you've got one or two teachers on duty at any one time. They're not just sort of childminders; they are qualified teachers, so they're there to they can help with homework, they can help with all sorts of things. I've had to relearn things about physics and French that I haven't done for years, and through helping these students they get an awful lot of support from us. And we know at this school that it's not one size fits all. Every child needs a different approach, a different level of support, and that's really, really important to us.
Bingpe, we have a question in the chat room.
Yeah.
Bing, did you want to unmute yourself so you can read?
Okay. So the next question we have, what is your phone usage policy, and what safeguards do you have in place for preventing the rude sites?
Sure. So our phone policy is very simple. Anyone below sixth form, so anyone below the age of 17, they all hand in their phone every morning, the entire school, and they get it back at 4 o'clock. So we don't have problems in the daytime with students using phones. Sixth form, we allow them to keep their phones. They're not allowed to get them out in lessons or walking around in corridors, but they can have a look at them in the common areas, the sixth form common areas. And this is because we're trying to balance the idea of, keeping them safe, not distracting them, with being able to access homework and current events going on and those sorts of things. We don't allow people to sit there gaming on their phones at all during the school day. So even the sixth form common rooms are regularly patrolled. In terms of online security, we have some software called Smooth Wall. Many schools use it. It's pretty accurate. It does prevent a lot of things being seen, and it alerts the school, alerts the deputy head if there's something that's been seen that shouldn't be seen. But we're also currently looking at a new piece of software which goes a bit further, and actually as well as filtering, it actually educates the student and sort of tells them before it tells a parent or a member, or the school, that this isn't appropriate, or even not necessarily inappropriate, maybe not trustworthy or not from a trustworthy source, this information, it will actually help educate them and give them a few warnings before it then tells a parent or a guardian. We're just looking at that at the moment. So we're very mindful about all of that. Boarders don't have their phones at night, except for sixth form. But even with sixth form, if they're on their phone late at night, either disturbing others or getting distracted, we would take the phone away. But we basically they just don't have their phones in the working day.
Thank you, Sam. So we've run out of time, but I'm just going to read a question in the chat room that I think will be really good to answer. If you don't mind answering it for the moment there, and I'll just read it out also so that other schools can speak to it. So, and she's one of our dear moms. She said, "My daughter plays football at the club level." So this is a
Right.
lioness.
Fantastic.
How do you balance playing at an intense level while still retaining academic standards? And this is a question parents are often concerned about. Also, are you taking late applications for 2026 into the fourth form? She's also asked if you have a golf course or links with a club nearby. I know her son loves his golf.
Okay.
So if you don't mind answering that question in the chat room, so we can move on to the other school, and if there's some time at the end, we can come back to that.
No problem. I'll answer those very quickly. So we don't have our own golf club, but we do have golf as an activity.
Sorry, Mr. Perth. I was wondering if you could answer it in the chat room.
Oh, of course I can. Yeah, no problem.
Just because of our time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'll mute myself. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Over to you, De Silva.
Thank you so much. So we had earlier Truro School, and just now we just finished listening to Farrington School. Next, we have coming up Kent College, Canterbury, a top co-educational independent boarding school and day school with a proven track record of consistent academic excellence, located in Canterbury, Kent. Ably represented by the head of international admissions, James Stevenson. Please make welcome, James Stevenson. It's okay to clap.
Hello, welcome. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody. And I can see lots of people on this call that I know already. Hi, Sam. Lovely presentation. I see Sam. I think Dominic's on here as well. I saw Dominic recently in Germany. We all seem to see each other at various countries around the world at these sorts of events. So it's good to see some familiar faces. But thank you very much for having me on. My name is James Stevenson. I'm the head of international admissions here at Kent College in Canterbury. Do you want me to jump right into the presentation?
Please go ahead.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm going to be able to share my screen, unlike Sam. So I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to see if I can share in the first instance a video. Bear with me, which is one of our. Hold on a second. Let me see if you can see this. I hope everyone can see this. This is our boarding video. So I wanted to give everybody a taste of just life, general life here as a boarder at Kent College, Canterbury. So I hope you can all hear this.
Boarding at Kent College is a really, really interesting place to be. When we started at Kent College and boarding, we had 3 boarders, and that was all the way back in 1885. And since then, the school has grown exponentially, and so has boarding.
We have a thriving boarding community at Kent College. We have 3 boys boarding houses and 2 girls boarding houses. And we have over 40 nationalities of pupils from around the world.
We are incredibly proud of our internationalism. We're incredibly proud of our diversity. And it makes our lives here really rich and really rewarding. And it's wonderful.
In boarding at KC, you come to know so many different people and you live with them. And you really come to know them. It's a safe place. And at the same time, your house parents are there to help you out.
Each house has 3 members of staff plus a house manager. Each of the members of staff that look after the students are members of the academic staff. So they will work with the children throughout the daytime. And in the evenings, there are always 2 members of staff per house. Our role is basically to help academically and pastorally and ensure that every student is looked after. And we try to enable every student to fulfill their potential.
There is always somebody here to look after you and to listen to you. You are never on your own when you're dealing with any issue.
As house parent, I'm the first port of contact for parents and guardians, whether that's arranging an exit at weekend or just to catch up and see how they're doing academically and pastorally.
I'm here to make sure that they are happy, settled, and I look after all the pastoral issues in the house.
Between us, we make sure that every student at our school is listened to, is looked after, and is supported in all of the different things that might come up.
I love boarding at KC for the values that they teach us. I think, for example, kindness and respect, they're a very good base to start your life outside of here.
The reason I love boarding in KC is I know different people from different culture and I can have new friends with them.
Canterbury is another place where we can have fun, as we can go to town and let's say get out of school, chill a bit, have our time, and that's a great opportunity to, let's say, go out and live in a different environment.
We know that when you are getting ready to come to us at Kent College, you might be feeling a little bit worried, a little bit nervous maybe about what it's going to be like. And I think my main message here is do not worry. You don't need to be worried about anything.
I think there's nothing to really worry about being new to KC because obviously I was once new here and it was quite nice because everyone's really welcoming, everyone's kind, so it's really easy to get along with these people.
Don't be nervous of coming here or being new. There's loads of new people every year and you'll make loads of new friends.
Welcoming new students for me is a pleasure. And what I need to do, my role is making sure that everyone knows that new students are joining so that they will look forward to it.
We offer a 3-day induction for all new boarders, where you get to meet all of your house staff. We go through all of the different house routines, and you get to meet not only the house staff, who are absolutely here to help you, but also our student prefect teams, who are wonderful. And they remember exactly what it was like to be new and to not really know where they were going or what they were doing. And they are really, really looking forward to meeting and looking after people when they arrive.
We love welcoming families to Kent College, and in particular to our boarding houses. Come for a visit. We look forward to welcoming you.
Okay, there you go. I hope that gives you just an initial flavour of what Kent College has to offer. And I'll just share my slides and give you a little bit more of an idea in general. Just bear with me a second. Okay, so I hope everybody can see this. So this is Kent College in Canterbury. We are located in the beautiful city of Canterbury. We're right in the very southeast of England. We're the closest city to mainland Europe, and we're sandwiched right in the middle of Europe and London, with excellent connections to central London. We have the high-speed train here from Canterbury, which is called HS1, which will take you into central London, London St Pancras, in less than an hour, so it's around 53 minutes. And we're well connected by all of the London routes. We're close to the London airports, so it's around an hour and 20 minutes or so from Gatwick Airport and a bit longer to Heathrow. So we're very well connected as a city. We're a beautiful historical city. Canterbury is a very old and ancient city. It has a beautiful cathedral in the centre, which is the head of the Church of England here in the UK, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which receives around 1 million tourists every year. And because of that, the city has remained very small because it's remained protected, and that means it's really wonderful for our students, especially when they're able to leave campus and explore that history and explore the city, particularly at weekends. And it's a very safe city. It's very easy to get around. It's very trendy. We have 3 universities here in Canterbury, so it's a very young demographic that live in the city. It's roughly about 50% students in the city of Canterbury. And we offer a really good experience in terms of combination with Kent College. So we have a wonderful, large campus, very green space with that very traditional campus experience, but also having the city of Canterbury on your doorstep within 15 to 20 minutes walking distance to be able to explore. So it really offers the best of both worlds in that sense. So that's a little bit about our location and where we are. So Kent College, in our senior school site, which is where we have boarding, we have just over 600 students at maximum capacity, and we remain a mostly British school with around 400 British day students who live in the local area of Canterbury and come in for the day. And then we have 200 boarders studying with us from 42 different nationalities, and we have small class sizes, particularly in the sixth form, where we average around 6 to 12 students per class. So At Kent College on our campus, we have two sites, and sort of one road splits the two sites, but it's over 80 acres as part of our whole site. We are a unique school with lots of different facilities, but one of our facilities that makes us a little bit unique is our school farm. Which offers horse riding and our own equestrian arena. We have currently 10 horses in the stables, but we also are a working farm. So we have cows and sheep and chickens and goats and guinea pigs, rabbits, alpacas on the farm. And we run a young farmers club 3 times a week for students who are interested in animals and want to get involved in life on the farm. We actually have some of our students who show our sheep at agricultural shows across Kent, which is a really unique area of our school. But separately to that, we have 26 acres of sports facilities, sports playing fields, floodlit astroturf, tennis courts, netball courts, cricket fields, rugby football pitches. We have our own sports centre here. We have a brand new fitness suite, which was built in December, which is beautiful and well used by our students since then. We have a dance and yoga studio above that fitness suite as well. And then from a performing arts perspective, we have a 600-seat theatre that was built 3 years ago, so it's incredibly modern and it's fully equipped, and we regularly host international performers as well as our own music and drama productions at the school. So I want to talk a little bit about boarding. So within our 200 boarders, we have 5 boarding houses. So you heard on the video was only made last year, and it's already slightly out of date. So we actually now have, we've split our boarding to be a little bit more 50-50 for girls and boys. So we have 2 boy-only houses, 2 girl-only houses, and then we have a co-ed house, which is our smallest house. It has about 27 students in, and it's separated for boys and girls on different floors, but we share a common space, so a common room, and they share the house system. And this is a 6th form only house, so the upper year groups from 16 plus. And it's edging a little bit closer to that university independence that students might be wanting in the 6th form. So that's our boarding dynamic with the 5 boarding houses. We're a very sociable school. We're known for being very warm and welcoming, and we try and put on lots of social activities, particularly in boarding. There'll be an evening range of activities for students to get involved in every single day. We have 2 common rooms in every house. So we have one common room that's just for you and the people you're living with, and no one else comes in there. So it's kind of that safe space within your house. But then you have a second common room where you can invite the other boarders and the day students over to socialise and take part in activities that are happening in the evening. So it's a really sociable place to be, as well as obviously sports happening in the sports hall every evening as well. Students who are boarding can leave campus. Obviously, the same as the previous schools, there are rules and regulations around leaving campus. 6th formers are allowed to leave on their own, but anyone younger than that would have to go in a group. But Canterbury is right on the doorstep. As I said, just 15 to 20 minutes walking distance away. Saturday is a day of free time. So Saturday is usually the day students would head on into Canterbury. And then on Sundays throughout the academic year, we do 30 different boarding trips, which is roughly sort of 3 out of 4 Sundays throughout the year. And this could be anything. It could be going go-karting or ice skating or going to the beach, which is only 15 minutes away for us. It could be going to the cinema. It could be going into London to see to a museum or to see a show, for example. Actually, our unique location being the closest city to Europe, last year we actually took the school minibuses for our boarders. We went on the ferry across to Belgium and saw the Christmas markets in Bruges, which was a really wonderful experience for our students. So there's a huge amount of opportunities in boarding. All of our 5 houses have different styles of rooms. We have sort of bigger dormitories for our younger boarders, but we are a top-heavy school in terms of our boarding. And we have the majority of our boarders are in the upper age groups, year 11, year 12, year 13. And majority of our rooms are double rooms with either an ensuite or a shared bathroom. We do have single rooms as well for some of our most mature students in the school, our prefects in year 13. So academically at Kent College, so we are actually ranked in the top 10 schools for the International Baccalaureate. We have been for the last 10 years. We're a small cohort IB school, but we have a very high average. We've averaged 37 points over the last 8 years. Last year, we averaged 37.4 points, which is very, very strong. But we are also a very good school for A-levels. We have 24 different options, of which 70% of our students will achieve A star to B grades. We have 3 vocational courses as well on offer. And in the lower years, we have a specialist 1-year GCSE program or a pre-sixth form year. We have our standard 2-year GCSE from year 10 as well, where we achieve high grades. And we also run an international study centre for students internationally who need assistance with their English. So overall, we're a very, very good school with good progression rates. A lot of our students that come to us are looking to stay in the UK for their university progression. So the majority of our progression being mostly a British school, and with the international students also looking for that pathway, do tend to go to UK universities. Close to 50% will end up in Russell Group universities every year. Last year, our top destination was the University of Exeter. I think we had 6 students attend there. But we also have a small percentage every year that we'll get into Oxbridge. We had a student last year who went to Cornell University in the US. And a student who went to a top university in Europe, Bocconi University in Italy. But we're also still mostly a British school, so we do have a few students who go on a gap year, mostly British students who head off to different countries for a year before heading off to university. But last year, 98% of our students achieved their first choice university course, which is really strong, and it shows the real quality of education taught here at Kent College. We're a good choice for sports, and the ones that you see on screen now are what we would call our sort of flagship sports or core sports that are taught in our senior and junior games. We're particularly strong in hockey and cricket. Hockey, we play Tier 1 across the UK, so in the top league. We have a wonderful hockey director who is our former GB Olympian, and also the first team men's coach at Canterbury Hockey Club, where there's additional opportunities to play hockey, and a similar story with our cricket as well. But we're also a strong school for football, basketball, tennis. We have wonderful tennis facilities on site, netball, athletics, and cross country as well, and of course horse riding with our school farm. But this is just what is on offer during our co-curricular timetabled offering. In our extracurricular or outside of school activities, we have around 22 different sports on offer, including things like golf and rowing, etc. So for performing arts, we're a top school. As I mentioned, we had a great hall. I was looking out the window there because it's right there. A 600-seat auditorium built 3 years ago, and we have a lot of productions that take place there. So we have 5 drama productions per year in the hall, as well as 10 musical concerts per year. We have our own recording studio for musicians. We are connected with Canterbury Cathedral, so we do a Christmas carol service there every year. Our choir will go on tours across Europe every year, and there's local performance opportunities for students as well. We have an annual musical, and there's opportunities for students to write and direct plays as well, and we also offer Lambda lessons. So co-curricular, we have over 80 opportunities for co-curricular in lots of different disciplines. Everything you see in that red box on the right-hand side is something that we offer here at Kent College. And there's lots of different disciplines. So I mentioned the sports-based disciplines. There's about 22 different options there. But we have performing arts, music, art, well-being, hobbies-based interest, and also a lot of academic-based clubs as well. So Pathway to Oxbridge Club, Pathway to Engineering Club, Psychology Society, the Model United Nations and Debate Club, for example. So there's a huge range of opportunities for students to get into lots of additional clubs and interests outside of their timetabled hours. And then you can see on the left-hand side of the screen there just a few of our trips and expeditions that we do throughout the year, which tend to be very popular indeed. So just lastly, coming into sort of the pastoral element of the school, well-being and pastoral care is the main priority for us as a school and for our students. And we have a wonderful structure led from the very top in our senior leadership team. And we have a lot of people that students can seek advice from and help from, including school counsellors and independent listeners, boarding house parents, assistant house parents, house managers, and our academic tutors who are in-house in the evening to support students academically in their self-study time. We have personal tutors that meet with the students 3 times a week before school, as well as heads of year, heads of subject. We have a school chaplain here, and we do chapel twice a week within school time. And we have a wonderful group of senior trustworthy students as our prefects of the school, which is kind of the first point of call and the first point of that pastoral care for other students. We have a 24-hour medical centre here at Kent College, and we have recently won the Gold Award for Boarding School Mental Health Award, which is Centre of Excellence and Mental Health Schools from Leeds Beckett University, which is fantastic. And it really shows the quality of well-being that we have in place within our boarding houses from our house parents, who are very experienced. They've been here for a very long time and are very dedicated to looking after the students here, which they see as their family, which is exactly what we would want here. Kent College is known for being a very warm and friendly sort of community-based environment, and with a lot of support for students, both academically and pastorally, and that is what I would expect students from Nigeria to come into when they choose Kent College. And we certainly have seen that from the students who have arrived through Brains and Butter over the last few years. So that's everything from the presentation perspective. Obviously, I'm sure there'll be lots of questions, but this is me. I'm the head of international admissions, and you can contact me directly through my contact there on the screen, or via my admissions team, which is just admissions@kentcollege.co.uk. Thank you all very much for listening, and I'm more than happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Okay, so time is fast spent, but I'm going to quickly run through the questions. So you in 2 minutes, I want you to quickly answer all of this 3 questions in particular that we have. Okay, so the first one says, is the equestrian program a sports elective or part of the options? How does it work? E.g., would my daughter have to choose between football and horse riding, for example? Then the next question, for families considering Kent for the first time, what aspects of the school's culture or ethics would you say truly sets it apart from other UK boarding schools?
Yeah.
And the last one goes, how does the school involve parents in their child's progress and school life while maintaining students' autonomy and responsibility?
Okay, thank you. I'll try and answer those as quickly as I can. On the equestrian, so equestrian is part of our co-curricular offering, so that comes alongside all of our other core sports. Now, sports, which is quite typical in schools, are done on a termly basis, particularly in timetabled hours. So there'll be certain sports on offer for autumn term, spring term, summer term, and that usually moves with the seasons. For example, we're weather dependent here in the UK, unlike in Nigeria. Horse riding is part of that co-curricular offering. It's one of the only things we offer all year round. So effectively, students would be able to choose horse riding over taking part in one of those sports, which would allow them to ride twice a week in those co-curricular times of the timetable. And there's a potential option for a third riding session a week, but that would be an extra charge at the weekend, for example. So that's how equestrian is run, and it is all year round. So if we have any riders who are interested in the school, I'd be more than happy to pass you a bit more information via email, but certainly we'd be an excellent option. And I'd expect you to be able to ride horses in our farm between sort of 2 and 3 times a week. We do dressage, we do show jumping, and occasionally we'll do a bit of cross country because we have about 800 acres of woodland just behind us. So that was on the horse riding side. Sorry, can you remind me of the second question? Sorry, I can't hear you.
Sorry. The second question says, for families considering Kent for the first time, what aspects of the school's culture or ethics would you say truly sets you apart from other UK boarding schools?
Thank you. Yes, one of the questions. It's so difficult to answer. There's so many wonderful qualities that the school has to offer from on an all-round basis. You know, the thing that I would say, I've worked in 3 schools myself, and since coming to Kent College, and I really see it and I feel it. It's really difficult for me to explain this feeling. We always ask families to come and visit for themselves to understand the atmosphere at Kent College, but our environment and atmosphere, driven by our school values and ethos among staff and students, is, I think, the most valuable thing to the school. We would expect, as I mentioned on that last slide, students to come into a very warm, welcoming, friendly, community-orientated environment. And it's when students feel comfortable that they really start to thrive. And we want our students to feel as comfortable as possible with us as soon as they arrive at the school, so that they're confident, they've made friends, they can be sociable, and they can get that right balance between education and socializing within their school time. And that's when students really start to thrive. So I feel that our environment and atmosphere is really next level in terms of our school offering.
Okay, the last question. How does the school involve parents in their child's progress and school life while maintaining students' autonomy and responsibility?
Good question. And that would be so. All of our house parents and academic tutors who are assigned to each student will have direct contact with the parents should they need it. We also have a parent portal online through our online system that parents can see regular updates academically and pastorally on their children, and they can communicate with the relevant people within the school at any time that they need to. So it's a very robust system. It's a very good system in terms of communication. So in terms of both ways, from the school communicating with the parents and then vice versa. And the system works really well. And I know our parents really highly value that.
Thank you so much for that presentation and for all the answers. Thank you. So parents, James Stevenson is still here. If you still have more questions for him, do well to send your questions and he will be on ground to answer the questions. So right about now, we would like to move on to the next school on the line up. You would agree with me that we have quite great schools on the lineup for you today. Okay, so coming up next, we have Dean Close Schools, a co-educational independent boarding and day school in Cheltenham, England, offering education with a unique blend of academic excellence, creative arts, and sports, big on courage, contribution, and love, with emphasis on developing essential skills for the future. Let's give it up for Dominic Neville, the Director of External Relations.
Hello, very good afternoon. A great pleasure to be with you all. Lovely to see so many familiar faces. Really a great pleasure to be with you today. So yes, I'm Dominic Neville from the Dean Close Foundation, and I'll be telling you a bit about our values, our Christian ethos, the experience for our pupils, our provision and our curriculum. I'm very, very happy to answer any questions you may have. So I'm just going to click share so you can just see my presentation. Won't be a moment. Here we go. Okay, so if I can start with our values then. So you'll see that from the diagram there, our DNA is built upon these values of courage, contribution, flourishing, and love. These are woven into every element of our school and boarding life. So this is in the academic lessons, in the boarding house, in the day house, during free time, through our co-curricular pastoral. We want to inspire our children to have courage. We know that in this world, in order to prepare them for the next stage of their lives, it's really important to give them the opportunities and the tools to develop courage in all that they do. We also want to inspire our children to contribute, to participate, to be part of something, whether it's part of a collaborative, community-based project, whether it's their own individual independent work. I'm going to move to the bottom value for a moment, love. This is a word that we don't see in every school, but of course love underpins everything that we do. Our school was founded in 1886 upon Christian principles, and these are at the core of everything we do. And love underpins our values and every moment of our day and boarding experience at Dean Close. With these three values of courage, contribution, and love, this is our route to enabling every member of our school community to flourish. This is very much at the centre of our ethos and our thinking. We want to enable every child, every member of our community to flourish. This will have different pathways, different avenues for different children, and we're not looking to make a child conform to one particular type, but instead we want to get to know them, to connect with them, to support them, mentor them, give a personal, individualized care that enables every child to flourish. We value every single journey that our children take. If I go on to our next page, pupils are first. This is a really key message for us. Everything we do is based on the principle that pupils come first. So again, it's that one-to-one coaching, that mentoring, that individual personalized care to enable all of our children to have the opportunities and the values and skills to be able to flourish in later life. If I can just step back a moment and just give you a short overview of our group of schools. So we are a family of 6 schools and 9 nurseries. I'm not expecting anyone to see the tiny print on this document, but it's helpful just to see as a group of schools with Dean Close School at the centre, we are a family of schools that educates more than 2,000 children, but within each school, we have quite small numbers, intentionally small numbers. So for example, at Dean Close School, each year group has 100 pupils, and in that you'd have class sizes of perhaps 15, 16, 17 children per class. And then as they get towards the GCSE options, those classes become smaller. And as they get towards A levels and BTEC at sixth form, the classes become even smaller. So we're very fortunate in having the strength of a foundation with multiple schools, multiple nurseries, which enables us to give incredible facilities, share tremendous facilities, but because each school is small, with intentionally small class sizes, we can give that individual and personalised care that will enable all our children to flourish. So within the Dean Close Foundation, every child is seen and known and heard. This is a very, very important principle at the heart of all that we do. This enables us to build an exceptional ethos, and we've been given an award for our pastoral care, particularly for our care of international students. We have an assistant head teacher who's geared specifically to the international students. This enables us to offer a first-class induction, the preparation before a child joins us from overseas. We're able to give a very personalized and systematic program to enable every child to settle in quickly and smoothly into life at Dean Close. We have a student council made up of our international students. We want to ensure that all of our international pupils have a voice. We have a very vibrant boarding program. So we have 500 pupils altogether at Dean Close School. That's our senior school. We have 320 pupils at our prep school. Our Cheltenham site actually educates children from the age of 2 to 18, and altogether across that site, it's more than 900 children. On that site, we have approximately 330 boarders, which means our boarding weekends are very vibrant. There are some schools, of course, where boarding is too quiet at the weekends, but we're very fortunate with having these very large numbers. We have a really active program of events and activities across the week and across the weekend. Really exciting trips to Oxford, to London, our own town here, Cheltenham, also a very beautiful, very safe, green space with tremendous facilities, lots of history, great opportunities, whatever a child's interest may be. Across our group of schools, we have really safe environments, beautiful green, large spaces. So at our Cheltenham site, where I am here today, we have 50 acres of beautiful green space. This enables us to have outdoor facilities like a forest school, like an outdoor theatre, amazing range of pitches, woodland as well. Tremendous whether a child is interested in cricket or field hockey, football, rugby, whatever their interest may be, they can all be catered for in these tremendous outdoor facilities. In addition to that, we have tremendous indoor facilities. We have a 550-seater theatre that's professional level. I think it's one of the largest in the Southwest. We're able to offer incredible opportunities in drama through that. Similarly, we have two other very large concert spaces for music and performing arts more generally. We have a series of professional standard sports facilities. We have AstroTurfs, we have great cricket wickets, brand new cricket facilities. We've also got extensive range of rugby pitches, two huge sports halls, gyms. We're very, very fortunate with facilities across co-curricular and across our academic provision. I'm going to focus on Dean Close School for a moment. So this is from the age of 13 to 18. So we have each year group, approximately 100 pupils, and class sizes typically no more than 17, 18 on average, and then they become smaller as they get towards GCSE and A-level. We pride ourselves not just on exemplary pastoral care, but also quality and breadth of academic and co-curricular provision. At sixth form, for example, we offer 30 A-level and BTEC subjects. This really means our children can be themselves and to choose the subjects that they really care about. We can inspire that passion. Supporting our children in their choices is a really robust pastoral care. We have a very effective house system. In each house, it's like a big family of perhaps 60 children in a boarding house or a day house. Within that, you have tutor groups, which might be 5 or 6 young people who come together to discuss issues, and it's a chance for mentoring. We also give one-to-one mentoring. If you come to our dining room at lunchtime, or any time of the day actually, you'll often see our staff giving one-to-one mentoring to our pupils. And that care, whether it's academic, pastoral, co-curricular, enables us to give tracking, enables us to monitor, support, and give advice, and those little nudges to ensure that every child is thriving. Our pastoral care in our boarding houses takes it up another gear. So our boarding staff are very experienced. Our boarding staff have been with us on average more than 8 years as house masters and house mistresses. This enables us to have continuity, great communication with parents, enables our children to settle in smoothly, to have really supportive, very successful, happy time with us, and then to flourish and be prepared for the next stage of their lives. We've had children join us from all parts of the world. We're quite an international school. We are 80% British students, so 20% from other countries. Children from Nigeria have really flourished at Dean Close, including our current head of school, and our deputy head boy last year was also from Nigeria. And we find that our ethos, built on Christian principles, is a very natural link for students from all different parts of the world. And children from different faiths and no faiths find that this is a place where they can really be happy and explore their interests and develop passions that will help them prepare for the next stage in their journey. In terms of that onward journey, we give a lot of care to extensive careers provision. Because we have more than 2,000 children, we've got an amazing network of parents and adults and former students who are able to support us by giving a wide array of career opportunities. In Cheltenham, we're becoming one of the cyber capitals of the UK, so we've got loads of tremendous work experience opportunities in tech, in cyber, in engineering, science-related fields, aviation, and much, much more besides. So our careers provision is really a great strength for our school. In terms of our futures provision for the next stage after sixth form, some of our students will go on to Russell Group universities, onto Oxford and Cambridge. Some will go to Ivy League. Some will go on to courses like medicine, dentistry, and veterinary courses. Others will go to apprenticeships. Others will go to careers directly. Essentially, we value every child's journey, and we want to provide the skills, opportunities, and give them, every child, the tools so they can follow their aspirations and become the best person that they can be. So whatever child's ideas and passions, we will help them flourish in preparation for the next stage of their lives. This year we've had students who've won scholarships to the top universities. One example comes to mind. One of our students joined us quite good at hockey when she was in year 9, when she was 13 or 14, became really quite good at hockey, then became excellent at hockey, and then became incredible at hockey. She now plays for England under 21. She achieved 3 A stars at A level, and she's now a scholar at Princeton University, an Ivy League university in the United States. We've got so many case studies we could talk about like that. So we're really very proud of whatever our children's journeys will be, and our support and our family network enables us to give all the support and structure to enable that. So just to round up some of the things I've said so far, 500 pupils in the senior school, 250 of those are boarders. We offer a lot of one-to-one mentoring. This is a former head boy of the school. And we have incredible co-curricular, whether it's drama, we have adventure. In fact, one of my colleagues' job titles, I think it's the best job title in the world, his job title is Head of Adventure. I think it's just a great thing, great emphasis within our curriculum. This will be activities on site, but also further afield. We have an amazing range of trips. We also have great specialisms in the other performing arts beyond drama. Music, we have great orchestras, we have tremendous choirs. We have great community music that enables our children to take part, whatever their level before they've joined us and whatever their aspirations will be. Similarly, for the visual arts, we have tremendous opportunities for children to really explore different media and fulfill their potential there. Above all, what I should emphasize is that we are a family. So we have a prep school on the same site. We also have the very youngest ages. So a child can actually join us from the age of 2 and continue right through to 18. So it's very much a family ethos at Dean Close. This is great when the family has maybe 2 or 3 children of different ages, and they can still spend time together at dinner and other meal times and other activities during the week. There's a great sense of collaboration within all that we do. What I'm going to do at this stage, I'm just going to stop sharing that document and come back to the main image here. So we're delighted to be joining you today. Really happy to answer any questions that you may want to ask us. Dean Close is a school that prides itself on pastoral, on co-curricular, academic, and our boarding provision, because we've got great numbers and a really established program of opportunities. Means that children from different parts of the world can settle in fast, really enjoy their time with us, and have the opportunities to flourish. Would this be a good time to answer any questions?
Thank you very much for that awesome presentation. Thank you. So we do have questions. Okay, we have one question here already. How does Dean Close instill its core values in daily school life? And how are students encouraged to live these values beyond the classroom?
Yeah, okay, so the values are really, really important. We're very much a values-led group of schools. So the values that I talked about at the beginning are woven into our lessons academically. They're woven into our co-curricular and into our pastoral care, including boarding, of course. So we really place a significant emphasis on those. If I give an example in terms of our pastoral care, so our students have one-to-one mentoring, and they also have group mentoring within a small tutor group. This is where we talk and want to connect with our students and to understand the issues they might be grappling with and see how we can coach each of our students to make sure that the values are at the heart of what they do. In addition to this, we also have other elements of our pastoral care. So of course, within each house, these are themes that are woven into assemblies and into tutor time. In terms of our chapel services and assemblies, these are at the heart of the messaging. So our whole school community gathers 3 times a week in chapel. They sing incredibly loudly, and I say that as a singer myself. I absolutely love the strength of their singing and their coming together. It's a real opportunity for us as a community to gather together, and the messaging within our assemblies and our acts of service and acts of worship focus on those values. it's really tremendous that we plan our schedule during the week so that we can make sure the key messages with our values at the center are given at key moments throughout the week. So it's really at the core of all that we do. Can you remind me of the second half of that question?
Okay, it says, how are students encouraged to live these values beyond the classroom?
Yeah. So, in terms of our pastoral care that I was just talking about then, also in terms of our community events, our activities. So, for example, at the start of the academic year, we have something called a house shout. It's not shouting, I can reassure you. It's a really wonderful house singing competition. And this is where exactly those values are at the forefront of it. So courage, this is where children are coming together, they're meeting new people, they're gathering as a community, working in collaboration and showing courage to come together in performance. They might be singing a popular song as part of the house singing. They might be even singing in harmony for the first time. It's a wonderful way for them to show courage, to show participation. And of course, love is at the center of all that we do. This is underpinning our entire ethos, whether it's house shouts, whether it's our acts of charitable service, whether it's in the leadership opportunities our children are having to lead the house competitions, for example, to lead elements of house life, or whether it's in terms of our co-curricular. So those values are at the center, whether they're playing cricket, or netball, or basketball, or football, or rugby. These values are throughout our educational program and throughout life at Dean Close.
Thank you very much. Though we have one more question, our time is up. So I'll ask that you drop the answer to the last question on the platform. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for that presentation.
It's our pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, so we're moving gradually to the end of day one at today's UK boarding schools fair, organized by Brains and Butter. So the very final school we'll be seeing today will be coming up right about now, and that is Campbell College. Campbell College is a prestigious independent boys' school located in Belfast, Northern Ireland. And representing Campbell School today, we have Fiona Young, who looks after marketing and student recruitment at Campbell College and is a part of the senior boarding house team. She's been with Campbell School for 9 years and plays a key role in connecting families with the school and supporting boarding life. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Fiona Young of Campbell College.
Hello, hello, how are we all? Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction. It's great to be here with you all today. We were delighted to be invited to take part in the 6th edition of the UK Boarding Schools Fair. So let me just share my screen with you. This is the bit I'm most nervous about. Oh, is this working okay? Yeah, perfect. So my name is Fiona and I look after marketing and student recruitment here at Campbell. And today I have the honour of introducing you to Campbell College. It's a school that's come very close to my heart over the last 9 years. And although I only have a short time, I hope you'll get a sense and a bit of understanding of who we are and what we offer. So please do leave any questions in the question box below and hopefully we'll have time at the end of the session to answer a few of them. So Campbell is an HMC day and boarding school for boys aged 3 to 18, but we accept boarders from ages 11 to 18. We are located in Belfast in Northern Ireland, so part of the UK, but on the island of Ireland. We were founded in 1894 and this is our original red brick Victorian building, so we have a lot of history and heritage on campus, and as you can see we stand very proudly in a 100-acre woodland estate. I like to say that we can have the best of both worlds. We have so much green space for the boys to play and to grow. Just outside of the school gates, we have a local village where the boys can go and get dinner at the weekends or grab a coffee, head down after school to pick up some bits from the shop, but they're not in the capital city. The capital of Northern Ireland is Belfast, and we are 15 minutes away by public transport to Belfast. So the boys will go there at the weekend, but they cannot walk in. So you can have that best of both worlds, a very safe campus while still having access to the capital of the city. So as I said, we're in Belfast, which is in Northern Ireland. A lot of people often see that stretch of water between the mainland and in Ireland and think, oh, it's too far away, but we are incredibly accessible. We are just over an hour's flight from London and other regional airports in the UK. And we are 5 minutes away from the Belfast City Airport. So it's very easy to get to us. Belfast is full of character, it's full of history. Northern Ireland is one of the safest regions in the UK, and actually Belfast was cited by the United Nations as the second safest city in the world. People here are very warm, very friendly. The temperature might not be very warm, but the people are. It's a very welcoming environment. We're very community driven, very family values driven. We're actually quite conservative, quite traditional. So it's a very safe environment, and I know our African families in the past have liked the fact that we are family orientated and quite traditional. Way of life in Northern Ireland is just much more relaxed. It's a bit slower paced than that in England, in London. It's also worth noting that Northern Ireland consistently outperforms the rest of the regions in the UK at GCSE and A level. So not only are you getting a very high quality way of life, but you're getting high quality education as well. So our community, I think, is what makes Campbell very special. We have 1,150 boys in the school. Now that is from kindergarten right through to sixth form. In the senior side of the school, we have about 950, just over 950. Of those 950, 130 are boarders. And we have a very diverse boarding house. So we have about 30 different nationalities, and we try our best to make sure that we don't have a dominant nationality. About 40% are British and Irish boys. So again, if you're looking for UK education, not only are you in a very large school community, but within the boarding house, there's quite a large population there that are British and Irish. 20% are Asian, 20% the rest of the world, and 20% are European. I think it's quite important to say that around 85% of our boarders are full-time boarders. So it means at the weekend, the houses are still lively, they don't empty out, there's still boys around, activities are taking place, you're relaxing with friends, enjoying that sense of home. As I said, we are an all-boys school. We've been teaching boys for over 130 years, and we know how to get the best out of them. We know that boys will learn best when they're engaged, they're challenged, they feel known. And that's why our approach is really built on strong relationships. The kind of three areas I want to touch on here is the freedom to explore. That's one of the beauties of an all-boys school. Boys have that freedom to explore who they are, explore all aspects of their school life, what they want to get involved in. They do not have to conform or feel the pressure of a gender stereotype that sometimes they do in co-ed schools. Boys in all boys schools are more likely to try new things, whether that's performing in the play, joining the choir, leading a charity initiative. It is that freedom, as I said, that helps them discover their true passions. I know I attended a co-ed school, and one of the boys in our rugby team when we were in sixth form really wanted to try out for the school musical, and he actually became Nathan Detroit in Guys and Dolls, which is one of the lead roles, and his team showed up on the opening night. And as a 17-year-old girl sitting in a co-ed school, I thought, isn't that brilliant? His friends and his players are supporting him on opening night, and they weren't. They were actually there to make fun of him. And I think it doesn't happen all the time, but can happen in co-ed schools where boys, they feel like they don't want to step out of what is expected of them. And I think in an all-boys school, you can have a situation like we had a couple of years ago with a boy called Flynn, who was not only the head boy, but he was the captain of the first 15, and he was the lead in the school musical. And actually, his players, his teammates supported the production by working backstage. And I think that leads in really well to the stronger peer bonds, is that brotherhood, the sense of brotherhood is really, really strong at Campbell. Boys will form very deep, long-lasting friendships that are built on those shared experiences, whether they're in the classroom, in a house competition, in the sports field, round the dinner table at night in the boarding house. And these bonds create a very supportive environment where boys will look out for each other and grow together. So most importantly, at Campbell, we really focus on developing character and confidence for life. Boys will learn to take responsibility, to speak up, to lead with integrity. And these are the qualities that will stay with them long after they leave school. So again, as I said, at Campbell, we are in Belfast in Northern Ireland. That means we are part of the UK, and it means we offer the British curriculum. We don't offer the Irish curriculum. We offer very broad and flexible curriculum. In Key Stage 3, boys will follow a set curriculum with around 19 subjects, giving them a very strong foundation. At GCSE, they have the option of picking from 27 subjects. Again, very wide range that allows boys to tailor their learning. Most boys will study between 7 or 11 GCSEs. And at sixth form, we offer 28 A-level subjects, including 4 BTEC options. Some of those classes we do share with our local sister school. So boys, again, do have that interaction with girls, especially in the senior end of the school. Our class sizes are small. Lessons are very active. As you know, if you have a boy at home, they have a lot of energy, and it's about challenging them and channeling that energy into meaningful learning. So that's a bit about the curriculum. Beyond the classroom, life at Campbell goes far beyond the classroom, and we offer a very rich and diverse extracurricular programme with something for everyone. All of our facilities, worth noting, are on site. You do not have to travel off for any of the sports facilities, but also the boarding houses. Forgot to mention that. So whether you're interested in sport, music, drama, debating, charity work, there's a place for every boy to get involved, and we very much so encourage boys to get involved and to broaden their horizons outside of the classroom. Our main sports, I've included winter sports here, simply because when you come into the senior level, whether you're studying GCSEs and A levels, typically the summer terms and exam terms, so you won't be as focused on sport. Our main sports, we play 2-term sport. So if you are an avid footballer, you're coming in September and you're going to play football right through until March. Same with rugby, you're not going to play 15s and then move to 7s, you'll play 15s the entire time. Hockey and volleyball are also very strong sports for us. We offer a range of enrichment activities. So wellbeing team was actually an initiative brought to the school by a sixth form student a number of years ago. And now boys have to apply to become a wellbeing ambassador, and they interview for the role, and then they lead the programme. And it's a really great initiative for them to understand how important wellbeing is in the school and how they can play their part in the school. Junior school mentors, as I said, we cater for boys from 3 to 18. So in the sixth form especially, we'll have junior school mentors where boys will go down into our prep school and help with literacy and numeracy. And charity committee is a huge committee in the school. It's very well attended, and boys enjoy giving back and coming up with initiatives. So hopefully in Wellbeing Week in March, we're hoping to have a house sing off, and that is led by students. Music, also very strong at the school. We have a number of choirs, bands, ensembles. All boys are allowed to take private lessons, and we actually have a pipe band as well, which is quite unique being in Northern Ireland. So boarding, as I said, we offer boarding from 11 to 18, and we split that into 3 houses. So 1 junior house and 2 senior houses. All boys will have their own room. In junior boarding, that is from ages 11 to 13, they will have their own room with a sink, and they will share facilities. Where in senior boarding, from GCSE and A level, you'll have your single ensuite room. And that's a really great stepping stone to get prepared for university life, to have that privacy, independence and comfort. We have the vertical structure. We believe it works really well. Boys who are aged 14 also being in the same house with boys who are 18. They're on different floors, but they interact really well, and it allows the senior boys to very much so lead the house. It allows the junior boys to have good role models to look up to. And there's a lot of shared learning in a vertical house. Each house is led by a dedicated housemaster who lives on site, and it's supported by a team of staff who are there. So someone like me, I come in on a Monday night from 5 p.m. right through to 8:30 the next morning. So Monday night is my night to come in and get to know the boys, look after them during supervised homework time, make sure they're eating their dinner, they're making their bed, and getting up in the morning for class. I think it's important to say we do not have Saturday school. Our Saturday mornings are fixed on fixtures, sports fixtures, and we don't have any exit weekends. So there's only 5 times in the year where boys will have to leave. That's your week in October, a week in February, 2 weeks at Christmas, 2 weeks at Easter, and the summer holidays. Our activity programme is very diverse. So within the boarding house, we have a social committee. It's a representative from each year group, comes together with me and the assistant head of junior boarding, and we will ask boys what do they want to do, what are they interested in. We'll try to balance that up with things that are active, things that are creative, maybe some cultural activities. So at a weekend, we have an arranged activity on a Friday evening and on a Sunday afternoon. The activity programme throughout the week is mostly run by GAP students. Boys will have access to the full campus, the sports hall, our bouldering wall, and our state-of-the-art fitness suite. So one of the things I'm most proud of at Campbell is our pastoral care. We don't just educate boys academically, but we support them as whole individuals. So every boy is assigned a personal tutor who gets to know him well, his strengths, his challenges, his interests, what are his goals in life. And that tutor's really there to guide them through school, help them settle in, support their academic development and their personal development. In addition to that, they'll belong to a year group and they'll fall under the care of the head of year. And they also then belong to a house, so they fall under the care of a housemaster as well. This layered system really helps to make every boy feel connected and cared for, and that feeds right back into where we say boys learn best when they feel like they're known, they're seen, they're understood, and that is what is important for us. It's making boys feel secure, that they feel like somebody is there for them at all times. When they feel like that, they're more likely to take on challenges, they'll help them build resilience, and then they'll thrive, and that's what we really aim to nurture. So that brings us to the end of this short introduction to Campbell. I hope it's given you a bit of a flavour for who we are. We're a school with a very strong sense of community and this deep commitment to helping boys grow into confident, young, well-rounded young men. If you would like to know more, please do not hesitate to contact the team at Brains and Butter, and they would be sure to help you. But thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see some of you in Belfast soon.
You for that presentation. Amazing, amazing presentation. Okay, so we have a question for you. And the question says, how does the school balance competition and collaboration among boys, ensuring a healthy, motivating environment?
It's a very good question because boys have a lot of natural competition in them and they typically thrive in that competitive landscape. And I think through our sports program, we offer a very broad range. So you can come in just and play participation. It's just that socials football, you're not playing to a high level. Then you have that academy side where you come in and you play the high level. And that's where competition is and competitiveness is. And it's finding out what boy, each child's different. It's finding out where they'll fit in those things. And, so from that side of things, if you're looking at competition, yeah, maybe you're a competitive person, you'll want to go in and excel in sport. Maybe you just want to play for the fun of playing and being active, and that's through your socials. But house competitions are a really great way to balance that competitiveness and just collaboration, because house competitions, yes, can be competitive in terms of the whole house cup throughout an academic year, but for each activity, we make sure that we have a good balance of boys. So it's not the same boys always taking part in those activities. It's finding the boy who maybe doesn't like to get, to interact, he maybe does play basketball. Well, this is the activity that we're going to say, okay, look, you need to get out of your room. You're going to come and play basketball with us today. And you'll see the boys actually will support those boys who aren't competitive. If they score a goal, they'll cheer them on, they'll spur them on, they'll say, it's okay if you've messed up, we're a team. And I think that's the beauty of boys. They will pick each other up when you're feeling down, they rally behind them. And it's just, I suppose, as staff, making sure we're aware of that and encouraging that you can compete on, on the right pitch, but sometimes it is just about participation and learning together.
Quite remarkable. Okay, so what strategies are in place to encourage emotional intelligence, resilience, and positive social behavior in an all boys environment?
So every boy from year 8, when they come into the school, will have a learning for life and work session, and it covers a range of topics. So from bullying to consent to drug use, alcohol use, and throughout the year we have a number of guest speakers. So we actually have had an organisation called White Ribbon come in recently, and they actually featured on the BBC Children in Need last weekend, and they work in a number of different organisations across Northern Ireland and across the UK, but we invited them in specifically as an all-boys school because they tackle violence against women and trying to explain to young men respect, consent, what no means no, how to carry yourself as a young man in this world and to be the best version of yourself. And really through that life skills program, that's how we will build resilience in teachings.
Thank you very much. That was amazing. So parents, Miss Fiona Young is still here, though our time is fast spent, so we can take more questions on the call now. But please drop your questions just before we close the fair, though we're about to close the fair now. So, but you can still drop your questions as she's still around to answer the question in the chat. Okay, so far we have seen 5 schools: Truro School, Farrington School, Kent College, Canterbury, the Dean Close School, and now we just listened to Campbell College, and it has been an interesting ride all through. So I wouldn't close the fair without introducing our very own delectable Dr. Arlo. She is the brains behind Brains and Butter. I'm talking about the founder and the lead consultant for Brains and Butter Educational Consultant. Dr. Arlo, it's always a delight to have you.
Likewise, thank you so much, De Silva. Thank you for facilitating for the past 2 hours. I cannot believe that we have been on this call for 2 hours. So I'd like to say a big thank you to our parents. We're here because of our families. We're here to serve our families, and our families have stayed on. Like they were literally in the waiting room ready to log on. And I always say that Brains and Butter families are the best of the best, absolutely the best. So to every parent on the call, I'd like to say a big thank you for your time this morning into the afternoon. Thank you for being a part of this. We're back here again tomorrow. It's a Saturday, so hopefully you'll be more relaxed. Invite your husbands. It's mostly the moms I can see on the call. It's often the case. And moms, yeah, you make the decisions on your children's education. So I totally get that. Please let your husbands, let the dads come in as well, and your friends. So thank you so much for being on this call. And to our amazing schools that have presented today, fantastic schools. Fiona, it's always lovely to see your beautiful, beautiful self. I really liked how you answered the question about competition between boys, because the truth is boys do have that, and sometimes you get worried. You don't want like a seemingly weaker boy to get bullied by the more rugby looking, tougher boy. There is that, so I liked how you truthfully approached that and said, you strike the balance between letting the boys understand it's more about participation and being kind to one another. That is so important. And Dominic, hearing about Dinklo School, obviously I've been before, had a fantastic time. I especially like the wall art. I like how you have a lot of motivational quotes in the boarding houses, and it's just literally right there in your face and a great reminder. Your Christian ethos particularly warms my heart and shines through in the school. We had some amazing conversations. Cheltenham is a beautiful part of the country, a really, really lovely school. And I would really encourage our parents, when next year in the UK, please let us know before you fly in so we can arrange an itinerary of visits. You really need to see these schools firsthand. So you've obviously heard from them today. I've told you about some of these schools. Now you've heard directly from them. Another level would be to actually visit the schools. There's a whole lot more you would see when you visit the schools. And of course, we heard from Kent College, Canterbury, that has a farm. So therapeutic. Like, honestly, I remember being with the horses and the pigs and the chickens. I saw different types of chickens. I never knew chickens had that amount of varieties or breeds, rather, of chickens, all sorts of colors. Such a therapeutic farm. They have at Kent College, Canterbury, and you also have the benefits of the IB program and the A levels program as well. So you've got two really strong pathways for your sixth former at Kent College, Canterbury. And of course, Farrington's. I mean, Mr. Palacios, you're absolutely amazing. I know he's gone off the call. He really does understand the Nigerian, West African family dynamics. And I remember when I visited the boarding house, it was during Eid, and they had the dining, the like a kitchen area with a dining set up in a very Eid style format for the girl who was about to break her fast. And I just thought that was such a nice personal touch for the Muslim girl in the house. Really, really amazing there, Farrington's. And finally, we have Truro School. It was a journey, Jemima. It was a journey to make it down. But honestly, because I had never been to Cornwall until I came. But when I got to your school, I just thought it was so worth the journey. And I said to families that honestly, do not even think too much about the journey, because before you know you're there, and there are other ways to even get there faster. And once your child is at Truro School, you would forget how long it took you to get there. It's so worth the journey. And I saw Gabriel, he's at Imperial now. I caught up with him a few months ago. He's doing really well. I think it's Imperial or UCL, one of them. And when I chatted with him whilst I came visiting Truro School, I could just see he was having a really good time. I mean, he's an amazing boy. If I could clone Gabriel, I would clone him. He's such an amazing young man. I mean, he clearly did very well at Truro. So thank you all so much for being a part of the call. Please join us again tomorrow, same time. We'll be here. De Silva, I have to send it back to you in the studio, in the Lego studio, like I'm in some TV production here. Thank you, De Silva.
Dr. Arlo, you're always ever so amazing. So thank you so much for all them to all the schools for making it today. And tomorrow we'll go again. We'll also have a number of amazing schools on the lineup tomorrow. So parents, we're here because of you. So make sure you're here tomorrow. If there is anyone who is supposed to be on the call and is not here, please, the registrations are still open. So please, the link for the registration will be dropped in the chat now. You can just send the registration link to your friends to register for the fair. The fair opens again tomorrow. And if any of the schools that have presented look like a school that you would want your child to be in, and you would want to follow up on the engagement, you would want to engage further, please reach out to Brains and Butter. I'm sure there will be a form or something or a link dropped in the chat box right about now, so that you can follow up and you can take it from there. So the schools are waiting, and we are here to serve you. Tomorrow is another day. We would love to see you tomorrow. So till tomorrow, the day 2 of the fair. My name still is Bimpe Da Silva, and I want to say enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
We understand that guardianship isn't a service, it's a promise. Promise that your child will be seen, safe, and supported with the same level of care if you were to be there yourself. We go beyond logistics and check-ins. We provide presence, the kind that gives comfort in uncertainty and structure in new beginnings. From school coordination to emotional well-being, we stand beside your child every step of the way. You never have to worry if they are truly okay. It's about giving your child the freedom to thrive.
Hi everyone.